Introduce yourself to the people.
My name is Ryan Mendez. I play guitar in the rock and roll band Yellowcard.
Rock and roll. Okay. Heavy hitting questions.
Okay.
Only a couple, but
Okay.
for real though, this is a heavy question.
Okay.
Why now? What was the incentive to come back and make new music?
I don't know that like the word incentive is the right vibe.
Okay.
I think it's like when we started playing shows again, Riot Fest in 22, and then obviously like the Ocean Avenue tour in 23, it felt awesome, felt natural. It was super uplifting, satisfying in like a lot of really good ways. And then I think it felt like it made sense to continue on. And
Like it was time.
yeah, it was like, okay, well, we just celebrated Ocean Avenue, which totally was amazing and made sense to do. And then it's like, well, but this is also like the biggest headlining tour the band's ever done. We should just stop. Like that doesn't make sense. So
right.
It just kind of felt like it was natural to try to see what came next, I think.
The thing about it for me is it's like now we are wandering off into the wilderness alone without Ocean Avenue, you know? Because so much of the success that we've had in the last couple of years has been on the back of celebrating the anniversary of that record. And while, to your point, this 2023 was the biggest headlining tour we've ever done in terms of ticket sales and the size of the venues we were playing and all that. And it was like just mind-blowing. But a big part of making this album was, if we're gonna make an album, it has to really matter.
I agree.
It has to be really important in the overall story of Yellowcard. You know, it has to be a moment in time that will be remembered forever. Otherwise, what's the point? Because if it's not an important record, then it's just going to be another one that kind of washes out to sea. And, you know, there won't be an anniversary tour for it 20 years from now.
I agree. And I think that all of the factors that play into this record and what it is and how it got made. And I think it's like, it had to be something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It like, we couldn't just go, I mean, we could, but we didn't want to, didn't make sense to just go do another self-produced record and you know, do things the way it had gone. So we needed to try something new, something big.
I think that also brings us to, you know, our partnership with Better Noise, new record label, because when we stumbled into Travis's studio and realized that you know he was pumped to make a whole album with us, we immediately went sort of from like euphoria to reality very quickly.
How are we going to do this?
How are we going to do that? We don't even have a record company,
Right.
much less one that can make something like that happen. And man, Better Noise has just showed up.
Dude,
They have been such an amazing partner so far. Everyone is so invested. I'm on a WhatsApp chat with the CEO of the company, and he talks to me like every other day. It just feels very personal. It's very reminiscent, honestly, of when we signed with Capitol Records back in 2002 and started working on Ocean Avenue. It was a time where all these bands were signing to major labels, and there was all this stigma around being on a major label, you know, and a lot of bands had a very terrible experience being on a major label. I think that was probably more normal than not. But for us, we had this team of people at Capitol that were first name basis, so invested in the project, so connected with the band. It did not feel like this horror story we were pitched and sold, you know, this is what you're walking into. And while Better Noise isn't a major label, they are a very big player in rock and roll. And it's been a long time since we've, you know, had a project of this scope and size, and I feel like we are very personally connected with the company. I just feel like they're so invested in this project.
Yeah, it feels very genuine, and yeah, feels great.
Yeah. Okay, next. Are there any songs on the new album that you're particularly excited for fans to hear?
Big Blue Eyes
I knew you were gonna say
is the song that I'm really excited for fans to hear. It's in a lot of ways, it feels very classic Yellowcard. It's super acoustic based, but the subject matter, the journey that the song took to get to where it was, it's just, I think it's really, really special. And it's definitely like, it might be my favorite song on the record. It's one of them for sure.
Cool.
Yep.
I do love the journey that song went on, and I think it's relevant to the conversation about how we made this record and made it with Travis and made it in such a different way than we ever made a record before. We've never really done that. I mean, we've tried a song, maybe, double time versus half time, but we've never had a song get multiple different treatments and versions, almost different genres even,
Yeah, for sure.
To end up in a place where you felt lightning in a bottle. Like, boom, that's it.
And it's like, by the time it got there, it was so instantly obvious. Like, this is the right way.
I agree. Because I was kind of worn out by it, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
And then when we discovered the path that ended up being on the album, it couldn't have been more opposite. I mean, I ran in here to sing it. I was like, dude, let's go.
It's funny because I feel like everybody was worn out on the song except for me.
Yes.
I was like, no, like we have to freaking figure out how we're going to get this song on the record. And so
I appreciate you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the fact that we got there.
Me too.
Because once, like, the first time that you sat down and played it the way you did on the acoustic, I was like, okay, this has got to be it, you guys, come on.
I think that song is really going to resonate with people who have supported our band for a long time.
Absolutely.
I think there's going to be some not dry eyes listening to that song for the first time.
100%.
Okay, last one. As a band coming back, what do you see the challenges being?
I feel like a lot of bands are trying to come back. So I think oversaturation, people only have so much time, so many resources to go to so many shows. Radio is a totally different landscape than it was, although it seems to be really making a big comeback with our greater genre of music, which is, obviously really nice. But yeah, I just think that there's a lot of bands, there's a lot of shows, there's a lot of tours. And it's like, how do we convince people to care about what we're doing versus what other bands are doing? I think that they will, because I think we're doing something really special.
Yep.
But you never know.
I agree. I think for me, it kind of goes, a challenge that I see and feel every day is kind of on a personal level of just being away from my family. Like this is the first time in my life that I have, that Yellowcard has been operating at this high of a level where I have a wife and a child at home. And that just changes the game completely. Yeah. And I'm looking ahead to what we have coming up and how everything just there is a feeling right now of this swell coming. There's a feeling that the dam is about to burst in a good way. Yeah. And that's so exciting. And it's also so terrifying because Sean and I were talking today about being gone for 19 months on the back of Ocean Avenue. I don't think that is the case here.
I don't think it is either.
But nonetheless, if we do find success here in a way that we haven't found in a long time, which again, it feels like there is this electricity, this buzz starting around all of this. It feels really good. We're going to be so busy, and it's a good thing for the band, and it's a really challenging thing for your personal life and your home life. And so that's something that I'm just really trying to understand and manage, and I have the best support system at home. So it's been easy so far. But that's definitely one of the challenges I see, because we're not just coming back like, let's go play some shows. We are going for it.
Ahead. One thing I'll say is, like, when I say I don't think it's going to be like that, the being on for 19 months thing, I'm not saying I don't think this cycle and this record could have a life of 19 months, but I don't think it's going to be the way you guys did it then. Yeah. Like absolutely nonstop, like you didn't go home, because the way things are, I mean, we've been talking about how we've just done the biggest tour we've ever done. And then like, so much time in between where we're not doing it. Yeah. It's like doing the biggest stuff and less total amount of it.
And what's been cool about that is the touring we've done has been the 20th anniversary of Ocean Avenue, which ended up stretching into like the 21st and 22nd anniversary of Ocean Avenue. But having the space between the tours, unlike ever before, allowed us to make a record.
Agreed.
Because we all have to travel and come out here to LA because we don't, none of us live in the same place. And that can be really challenging to get everyone's schedule coordinated when you have tiny windows of time.
Yep.
And we've been there in the past, in the 2010s making those records. We had these little windows where we'd be off the road and then we would have to go right into the studio and cram songwriting and recording into like a 6-week period. Yeah. And then This was just like, let's take a minute, let's go home and refresh and listen to the music. And
in 2011, when we came back with When We Threw Think and Say Yes after the hiatus, we were gone for 10 and a half months that year. We were just gone, like nonstop. And it's like, obviously this could be viewed like that, but I don't think it's going to feel the same way. We're not going to be like, okay, let's play every show we can. Let's do every B-side we can.
You know, I think the moments we're going to get to choose are going to be more special and impactful.
And I think it's going to translate to being like, yes, we're going to be busy doing a lot, but it's not going to, we're going to have time to catch our breath here and there, I think.